Hey, it's me, TB, and today I'm filming a video that I thought I would never make, but here we are. And basically, it is the fact that Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas is like a good book, and I have no idea what like everyone is talking about because it is not that bad at all. Everyone acts as if this is just like awful. The thing is that, I literally just finished reading it yesterday. No, it was great. I would say it was great. I would. It was a 4 out of 5 stars for me. You see, it would have been 5, but, first there's the issue of like these corsets being mentioned and how like tight they are. That's not how like corsets work. So that was like my main problem because it comes up like multiple times. It just got really annoying. And secondly, I just did not like really give a fuck about, Dorian and Caine and like their romance, like their romances with like Selena, because I just don't think that like none of them make a good pair with like Selena at all, at least not yet. And you know what? Yes, Caine is just as bad as everyone says. And the thing is that I've heard he gets worse, and I'm like, I don't know how he can get worse because he's already like pretty bad. So first we have our main character Selena, and there were times where I liked the way she was written, which okay, this kind of goes for like all of the like characters in this book, is that there are scenes where they feel like they're very well written, and other scenes where they feel like not well written at all, if that makes sense. Like, early on, there's a scene where Selena, Dorian, Caine, and Caine are like in like a scene together, and it's where we like first like get Caine's name. Like that scene I really liked, and like it showed like how their dynamics work as like a trio, and I feel like that really showed like how the characters like function in this world, I guess. So like that's really good. But then like I think a scene like one of the scenes either before that or after that, they felt very like not well written characters at all, if that makes sense. Like the character work felt very like hit or miss. But regardless, I was invested like enough to like finish reading it. So obviously, it was not that big of a deal to me. I do like the fact that like she has some semblance of like trauma from her time at the mines. Probably not enough given the fact that she was like beaten every day and like starved, among other things. But you know what? I'll take it. And we do see like how she is like terrified about the king and like doing the wrong thing in front of him. She doesn't want to be killed or like sent back anymore because she feels more like invested in her time at the castle than she did like ever before, I guess. Like at least she feels like some semblance of like a place to belong, I guess. And like the thing that I like the most about her as a character is how like she is like very violent, but she's also like very like romantic at heart, which is really like a weird thing to say, but like she is like so like soft and like and romantic as fuck. Like she was reading that romance book earlier and like in the book, and I actually like really like vibe with that because I feel like that's very like an interesting contrast we don't really see a lot. We don't actually see like, a lot of female main characters being allowed to kill people and also have like feelings, I guess, if that makes sense. She doesn't like do a lot of like assassin stuff. We do see like she can like kill people, which is good, I guess. We don't see her like do like anything like sneaky at all, because her going into the ballroom doesn't count because like people figured out who she was like immediately. So like not really sneaking. I guess there's like the like secret passageway, but still I wouldn't count that as sneaking because like no one knows it's there still. So there's no way for her to get caught really because it's like behind a tapestry. So like even if someone like walked in, they wouldn't like notice right away that like something's wrong, I guess. She did kill that guy or like people in the mines with like a pickaxe, which is fucking cool, but I wanted to like see that. And I do like her like, I don't think it's like really growth yet, but she's like the progress of like growing, be attached to people. See this like towards the end more so, but she becomes like attached to the people at the castle, so she doesn't want to like leave and like run away anymore. So that was very like soft, and I like that a lot. Now for Dorian. Listen, Dorian is an interesting love interest, but I just don't think he and Selena are gonna work out like at all, because like I just don't believe that they're like in love. Like there's no chemistry. Like don't get me wrong, he is like a better pick than Caine, but that's not really hard to do, I don't feel like in love because they are the person that each other needs, but not like the person that they need in the long run, I guess. Like Selena, like I said before, is very like romantic, so of course she's gonna fall for this person that's very nice to her, and Dorian likes her because she's different than everyone else who is like throwing themselves at him. And I can like see like why they would like kind of like attract them to each other, but I don't think they're gonna like last at all because, like I said before, they don't really work right now. I mean, maybe that would change, but like, I don't see them like working out in the long run. I did like that Selena breaks it off with him towards the end because that's good. You know, they were not working. I'm not happy that it is like broken off, but I will be annoyed if they get back together in like book 2 or like book 3, because like, again, she needs a break. She needs to like find herself and like be free. She does not need to be like tied down to a prince right now. Now for Caine. Listen, I was not expecting him to be like this bad, but like he's not even like awful, I would say, because like at least he has like some depth of character. He's just like a whiny baby. Basically all the scenes are just him just like being angry that like Dorian and Selena are like talking to each other and like having feelings. And like he like won't let Selena do anything. He won't even like be like nice to her within like a few seconds. So I don't know why he's so salty, but he is. Like I think in like at least half of his like POVs, he is just like salty and like angry. Apparently he gets worse, and I'm like, I don't know how he can get worse because he's already just so fucking awful. But apparently he does get worse. And I said this on Twitter, and I like stand by this. He is basically like Mal from the Grushaverse, but he actually has like character compared to Mal, who has like nothing. You know, we had like 3 books with Mal, and he had like no growth, no character arc really. Like we already had like 1 book, at least he had like some like idea of like how Caine feels and like, his like background or something. For, like Mal, we had nothing. So you know, at least Caine has something that puts him above like douchebag love interests, quote unquote. So that's good for him. I really hope that he is not like in game, because like I said before, he's fucking trash. He hasn't like done a lot. And okay, I don't get how he can be like the captain of like a knight's guard, you know, like not even like the captain, but like the main captain, like entire like kingdom's main like castle guard. How are you the castle guard? And 1, you are 22. I don't know how that happens. And second of all, you've never killed anyone. The scene where he finally like kills someone, I don't know how. I don't know if he would have like done that if it wasn't Selena in trouble, because I feel like if it was anyone else, he would have like not moved as quickly. So basically, I don't think he's a great fit for this job at all. You know, just as a whole, I don't know how he got this like position at all. Like I get like nepotism, but like the captain of the guard team, maybe have him like second in command maybe, but like 22-year-old man in charge of like a whole like division of armed people does not seem like a smart idea. But then again, like Selena's like this badass assassin, like 18, so that doesn't make a lot of sense either. But whatever. And then we have Nehemia, the little like princess from that kingdom that is like currently being occupied by the king of like whatever this like main kingdom is called. I kind of forget already. But yeah, Nehemia, I love her. I wanted more of her actually. Her scenes like Selena were so fucking good. I just want like more of that, because I like the way I like love their friendship so much, and I like what she brings to the plot. Basically, she is like, besides like Selena, she's probably like top tier character work for me. Like definitely she is at least like second in command, because like so far it's like Selena, Nehemia, Dorian, and then Caine. I go with my like main 4. I don't have a lot of like thoughts on her, besides that, you know, I love her, and I wish this book was like sapphic, so it could be like Selena and like Nehemia get together, but that's not gonna happen sadly, so we all lose. Now I want to talk about like the plot and the atmosphere. I was surprised like how much I got like invested in this mystery element, because this shit got kind of spooky at times, not gonna lie. It got even more spooky when Selena discovered this fucking like passageway behind the tapestry. Then there was like the crypt and the way out, and it was just a lot. It was spooky as fuck. And yeah, I do think that the like weird marks being like these weird symbols that are like hard to explain, hard to like fathom, I guess, really added to the atmosphere, because it's just like weird marks that are kind of like appearing everywhere. And I was actually like surprised about who got killed off when. The like really shitty people, like the murderers. There's the Eye Man, and then whatever his face was, the guy. Who cares? But they both died by like 40% mark, so they're kind of like not important. But they both died, and I was not expecting them to die as quickly. Like I was expecting the people that don't get named to like die first, but apparently that wasn't the case. And I also liked how the magic was used, or like kind of like not really used, because there's not like a lot of like magic being used in this book so far, but just how like we see like Elena and Selena interacting, like how Elena is kind of like explaining what the fuck's going on. That was fun, and like how that is being done. Just as a whole, I like the atmosphere in like the crypt. I don't know why, I just really like that like location, I guess. I'm a white person, we love graveyards and shit, so like no surprise there. I felt that there wasn't any like slower draggy parts, besides when we got to like through like Cotans and like Dorian's POV, because sometimes they were just like doing fucking nothing, and it got like warm really fast. Like I think one of Dorian's earliest POVs is so fucking boring. Thankfully like they don't get like a lot of like non-Selena POVs, thankfully, but still anytime Caine was on the page, I was just like kind of like bored because like she doesn't do a lot, and I get that we're kind of supposed to like, I guess we're kind of supposed to like not like her, and like I don't like her. Meh, use of like page face, I guess. And I feel like kind of a clown because I wasn't expecting like the villain reveal to be like so obvious that it was Caine, but it was, and well, it was a thing that happened. Good for them, I guess, you know. But also, I feel like it was kind of like a red herring that it was gonna be him. Then it wasn't. I was like, okay, I guess. And like I liked that it was more complicated than it was like just Caine being like this weird dude. Wanted it to be like someone else besides Caine for like extra like spooky factor. But we can't have it all, I guess. I enjoyed him being killed, so that's pretty good, you know. And yeah, I also liked final like chapters, I guess. We find out that the Duke and the King kind of like working together and have like some like big bad goal in mind, you know, and how they're kind of like using Caine the whole time to like figure out whatever powers the Duke's ring has. At the same time, I kind of wanted, you know, Caine to like kill the Duke, you know. Hopefully she like does something like good for us, and you know she like kills the Duke, becomes a bad bitch too. But my hopes are not that high. I like how Caine tries to like get information from people, and I just like the way that she like revealed that she's being betrayed this whole time, but the Duke was like put out all of a sudden. I ate that shit up, not gonna lie. Yeah, it was a fun time to like read that, but at the same time kind of terrifying because I was like, fuck. And oh fuck yeah, I forgot to mention how the King comes back and like his whole like party is like dead. That was a moment I was not expecting to happen. I was like, fuck, that's not a good thing. That means like he probably has like magic too, or like he's using weird marks too. I have like no idea what the fuck's gonna happen. So now I guess I'm gonna like do my predictions for like what's gonna happen next. Basically, okay, I think Selena is either like part Fae or like is Fae, and her like country like Terrasen or like Terrasen is like Fae country. Maybe like Selena doesn't know because like she was never told. That's my theory, because Elena tells Selena that she has like she has like magic in her system or something like that. Or, like something about blood ties, and I was like, fuck, that means they're like related somehow. Like obviously I don't think that Selena is like related to like Dorian at all. But I'm thinking through like the like Fae connection that, you know, Selena and Elena are like related maybe. And then I think like Nehemia says something about like the blood vein that poisoned Selena like affecting her body differently because she has like magic in her. So like I'm thinking that Selena has to be Fae or like some like magical creature now, because that's just like something else at stake. Obviously she's not like fully human, you know. I think that Kale is probably gonna side with like the King / the Duke, or like whatever like the big bad is, because he is like so bitter all the time. He would totally side with the bad guys just to like get back at Selena. He totally would. I know that he's gonna be like the big douchebag. I just like have no faith that he's gonna like redeem himself at all, you know. And then we have Dorian. I have no idea what's gonna happen with him. I think that he will probably be like exiled later, maybe, if the King doesn't get like, killed soon. I feel like he's already on like thin ice. So like the next thing that's gonna happen is that he's gonna be like exiled whenever his brother comes back. Then Nehemia, I think that Nehemia is going to die because like no one ever talks about her. So I think that she's gonna die soon because like no one mentions her ass. So either she dies or she's like a villain too. I think that the Duke might try to like betray the King because they just don't trust the Duke at all. Like his like magical ring bullshit. Yeah, I think that Caine is gonna be like used to attack Selena maybe, but I feel like Caine is gonna have like a change of heart maybe. That's what I'm like hoping for. Do I really expect that? No. I want, you know, Caine to like side with everyone else. And yeah, those are my thoughts on Throne of Glass. If you like the video, subscribe, like, share, all that shit. And I will see you next week.